Hey everyone, my name is Jill Wagoneer. I'm a pyramid educational consultant and a speech and language pathologist. I wanted to spend a little bit of time today talking about how to create fun, motivating attribute lessons in the home setting for your PECS learners. Just a reminder, we can teach attributes anytime students are at or beyond phase 4 of the PECS protocol. So if you have students in the PECS protocol building 2-picture sentences, we would need to be here in the protocol before we would start to add an additional picture to the sentence strip or to target an attribute. It's also important to remember that we do not require receptive mastery of an attribute before we teach it expressively within the PECS protocol. What we're looking for, rather, is motivation to learn a specific attribute. So one of the first things I'm going to talk about is big and small lessons. So I think this tends to be a pretty popular target attribute for some of our young learners. The first thing I have 2 boys, ages 4 and 6, is a Captain America superhero figure. And this particular Captain America came with a shield that fits right inside Captain America's arm. So what I did is I took this shield and I took the small Captain America Lego shield and offered both. And when the student has this particular Captain America, the target here is the big shield because the little shield doesn't fit and it falls right off. Another fun big small lesson using maybe some art materials are just containers of Play-Doh, whether they want the big or the small container or more Play-Doh. This is a fun one. I have a plastic banana. This is part of our fake food that we have. And I offer it with a real banana. And at snack time, if the student's hungry, the target might be, I want big banana, because if you ask for the small one, it's not edible and it's plastic. There's a million and one lessons that we can do using Oreo cookies. One of my favorites is to buy mini Oreos and then any normal sized Oreo. And what we can do here is big and small, right? And if you have a learner that wants the bigger sized cookie, big would be the target attribute, because if you use small, you're going to get the mini Oreo and not the larger one. I also have Oreo thins. So sometimes this is more of an advanced lesson. I think we could do, I want thick versus thin Oreo. And if you have students that are motivated by the white cream filling, they might prefer, right, the thicker Oreo rather than the thin Oreo. I also have a couple Legos with me. So sometimes if students are building towers, they might want a certain shape Lego, so they might want the square versus the rectangle Lego, depending on the type of tower that they're building. And then I have another lesson involving crackers. So I have a wheat thin, and then I have just a circle, like whole grain cracker. So if you had a student that is more interested in getting the wheat thin, they would have to ask for, I want square cracker, because if they asked for the circle cracker, they would maybe get the non-preferred cracker. And then my kids really like Matchbox cars. And I've got 2 orange trucks here. So I have a big one and I have a small one. And so if you had the Matchbox car track, and I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but my kids love these orange tracks. The student would have to ask for the small truck, because the small truck is the one that actually fits in the track. The large truck would be too big and it doesn't work. In addition to this, I have some Peppa the Pig materials. So this Peppa Pig that I have here, this is George, and he is part of the Peppa the Pig house, or a play set. And then I also have another pig who's also George, but he's large and he's also soft. So we could even do a soft and a hard lesson here. But again, if I have students who are playing with the house, a lot of times the target attribute is small because they want the small pig because it fits inside the house. The large pig would be too big to go inside the house, but the large pig, for some students, they like, because when you squish him, he talks and moves his arms and does fun stuff. So that would be another potential lesson. I love using art supplies and using color lessons. I've got a package of markers here. If you have markers, crayons, colored pencils, and again, to motivate students to actually request for a specific color if they maybe don't have a favorite. Sometimes I'll put a specific coloring sheet in front of a student. So if I had Dory, the student might be motivated to request for the blue marker so that they could color Dory blue. If you wanted to switch the target attribute, maybe to red, I might purposely pull out an Elmo coloring sheet. We also have 2 iPads in my house. One is red and one is orange, or the cases are. And my own kids get really particular about which iPad they have because this iPad has different games on it than this particular iPad. So depending on what they want to do, they may want the red or the orange iPad. I also have 2 different Spider-Man figures here. So this one is black and this one is red. And if my 6-year-old has his black Spider-Man car, he is definitely going to want the black figure that goes right into the black car, not the red one. And then because I know some of our students and learners, despite how hard we try to find a motivating attribute lesson, they just don't appear to be motivated by the lesson. So they're not going to care if they have the red marker, the blue marker, the green marker. They're happy with any marker. They might not show a preference for, either size Play-Doh, or they might not show a whole lot of preference for which Lego that you offer. So for those particular students, what we'll do is use some containers. And I'm not saying that these have to be fancy containers or that you have to go out and purchase any, but just look around your home. Even the lunch containers, right? Like Ziploc and Glad lunch containers. This one, for example, has a green lid on it, and this one has an orange lid. And so sometimes we can do really quick lessons by taking a highly preferred toy, maybe Spider-Man, and I put him in the container. And now the student might request for I want container, and I hand over the container and they open it and they get this item that's inside, whatever that might be. And then what I can do is put Spider-Man back into the green container, and I know that they like the green container because it contains the Spider-Man, and I'll offer another square container, but it's orange. And now if the student asks for an orange container, they get nothing. And if they ask for the green one, they'll get the Spider-Man. So again, making sure that you try to buy containers that differ in only one attribute at a time. These are exactly the same shape, right? They're both clear, same size. They just have different color lids. These 2 containers are right from my own cabinet in my kitchen. So I have a tall and a short container. So again, you could put something in here and make short the target attribute, or I could switch it and put it inside the tall container. And because it's that time of year, if you have Easter eggs, these are so great. They're cheap and they come in so many different colors and so many different sizes. I could take a mini Oreo and put it inside the large egg and then offer it with the small egg of the same color, and now the large egg becomes the target attribute. So a lot of fun things that we could do. For more information on attribute lessons, definitely take a look at the PECS Training Manual 2nd edition. If you don't have a PECS Training Manual or you're interested in attending the full 2-day PECS Level 1 training, we're offering that training remotely via Zoom. So if you're interested, head to the PECS.com website and you can register and sign up. I wish you guys the best of luck, and I'll be sure to post some pictures that go along with some of the lessons that we've talked about today. Thank you.